R.BHUSHAN, welcome to the program ASG IAS. ASG IAS believe in quality, commitment, and success. Join our foundation course, Success Foundation course. Every man is a part of the man. Every man is the part of man. This is the editorial of the Hindu newspaper, March 21st, 2020, written by G.R. Gopinath. Every man is a part of the man. A literature and history source crises, which are great levelers, can be overcome by a banding together. In the Kannada novel Sansakar by the Gyanpita Wari, you are Anandamurthy, the upper caste Brahmin in a village deep in a rural North Karnataka, who are caught in the grip of epidemic face intestinal dilemmas. Their deeply held religious belief and rituals are on test. The chief priest of the village, Parmeshwaracharya, a devotee to austere Brahmin, has to provide the answer. He is never Narappa, an irreverent, rebellious Brahmin who has a hedonistic lifestyle and who mocks the Brahmins and their rituals and their superstitions, suddenly takes ill and dies. A story of contrast. There is no one in to worry. Even if the body begins to decompose inside the house in the Agrahar, the Brahmin quarters, because the Brahmins fear they may invite the wrath of the gods and worry about being excommunicated by the head priest of Mat for cremating a renegade and heretic. They appeal to the Parmeshwaracharya to consult the scriptures and find an answer to the problem. Parmeshwaracharya immerses himself in the holy text and prayer, but no revelations come to him. As time rolls by, riots in their thousands lie strewn all over the street, while vultures being hovering over the Narappa's house. More people start dying in the village, and the epidemic kills without discrimination. The village is under the deadly scourge of the plague. The Brahmins are hungry and not allowed to eat till the cremation is completed. Chandri, Narappa's companion, is distraught as Dalits cannot enter the Agrahar and they refuse to come to her aid. She offers all her jewelry to Parmeshwaracharya and urges him to give it to the Brahmins to give the Brahmins to bury Narappa. The Brahmins have by now eaten stealthily. A few relatives of Narappa claim to be jewelry in the lobby with the Parmeshwaracharya. If they get the jewelry, they will cremate Naranappa. They argue that there may be some provisions in the holy books whereby Narappa can be cremated under the circumstances they find themselves. The scholarly Parmeshwaracharya, who is steeped in ironclad traditions, is aghast by the unscrupulous behavior and the greed, and that does not give the consent till he finds an answer in the holy books. Unable to find any guidance, he heads to the temple beyond. Consent till they find an answer. Holy books. Unable to find any guidance, he heads to the temple beyond the village across the woods, seeks refuge in the prayers in the temple. On this way back to the village, well past midnight, he meets Chandri in the forest, who stops him and falls at his feet. He is soon swept away by her irresistible attraction when he wakes up as the sun rises. He is overcome by the same and remorse, unable to face the Brahmins who are waiting for an unanswer. He leaves the village under the cover of darkness, devastated. Chandari, who is desperate to get Naranappa buried to at all cost before the body is devoured by rodents, gets a Muslim merchant, a friend who commiserates with her helplessness, to cart away the rotting body with the help and the cremated it. This is a powerful story that shatters you and exposes that venality and the hypocrisy and the heartedness of the upper caste, and at the same time juxtapose it and reveals the joyful earthly humanness and magnanimity of the peasants, Dalits, and the robust, healthy, cheerful outlook of the lone Muslim merchant of the town who find strength and common purpose in fraternity and the solidarity rising above petty difference. Many meanings. Then there is another era and the continent. In different contexts in Albert campus came as the plague. Near the city in Oran in the Algeria, an epidemic of the bubonic plague breaks out. As dead rats start piling on the streets and the people start dying, authorities who are in the denial and indifferent to the deaths finally impose a quarantine. Overnight, the people of the city find themselves imprisoned. The total seclusion affects their daily lives, and the impact of the families suddenly separated from their loved ones throws the town into the hysteria and panic. A priest uses the opportunity of the plague and, invoking his god, preaches the refuge in religion to overcome the deadly attack to advance his own standing in the town. The plague can be read at many levels. At one level, it depicts the human condition when the natural disaster sweep a city and affect everyone without discrimination and hold sway over the destiny of human beings caught in such a tragedy. It is all about sacrifice, love, friendship, generosity, contactness while facing death collectively through stoic courage by confronting external forces beyond one's control through fraternity and solidarity. And the story also speaks of the pettiness and the cowardliness of those who are flee from the one's responsibility to the community. At another level, it is an allegorical depictions of the French resistance against the Nazi occupations during the Second World War. The plague is metaphor for the Hitler and the invading German army. On the other hand, when you are under siege, as it happened to the Jews and Hitler, the France and other countries of the Europe which were under occupation by Nazi Germany during the Second World War, are the condemned to live with the under dictators who are in the embodiment of the evil, as in Stalinist Russia, when life and death were both uncertain, or when you are caught in the inexorable vortex of the events of the history, such as partition of India and Pakistan and the Sikh massacre of Delhi in 1984 or the Gujarat riots in 2002, the Syrian war or the recent riots in the northeastern Delhi. And when you have nowhere in the run or hide, you realize you may have swept away in the tsunami of hate. You are fated to die, maybe perchance to the leave, and your house stop, and the factory may go up in the flames depending on your caste, religion, belief, and the color of your skin. In times of the riots and sectarian classes that may suddenly flare up, which are stoked by the wild politicians and the community leaders, and if it rises across the region, and if you happen to be the Jews in the Muslims neighborhood, or if you are in black or the colored caught in the white supremacist area of Hindu in the Muslim dominated Mohalla, the Muslim in Hindu majority district, Dalit in upper caste to loyalty of the Yazidi, and Christians in a territory invaded by the Islamic State, your destiny not your in hands. It is determined by your race and religion and color, and it is decided by the wild things men do when their heart is ruled by hatred, bigotry, obscurantism, stupidity and fanaticism, and a lust for the power.